M19 and my mom F48 just had an argument where she accused me of being ungrateful. She made chicken curry for dinner tonight. My family has known for years that I hate curry. The smell and taste genuinely make me feel physically sick. I'm not a picky eater at all. I'll eat almost anything else, including plenty of things my parents won't touch. The only curry I can stomach is Thai red. My mom doesn't throw meals together last minute. She plans dinners days in advance and genuinely loves cooking. This wasn't an oops, nothing else in the house situation. She knew I wouldn't eat it, but made it the main meal anyway. Worth saying, I can cook fine. That's not the issue. We just don't usually do separate meals. It's cheaper on both food and electricity for one person. To cook for the whole house, and my mom loves cooking. She used to be a chef, trained under a Michelin star chef. So she does the vast majority of it. That's normally a good arrangement. Tonight, it just meant I had no fallback when the one meal being made was something I can't eat. I didn't find out until it was actually served. I was outside working in a converted shed outbuilding. Attached to the house, I use it as a work area because the house itself is so noisy you can hear people talking to. The floor is away, so I can't focus inside. So I had no idea what she was cooking until dinner was already on the table. And it's not like I could just throw something else together once I found out. We do a big shop once a month. Most of our meat, fruit, veg, and honey comes from a local farm. And we only hit the supermarket for small extras. Right now, the house has ERBs, spices, flour, milk, sugar, salt, pepper, butter, and some sauces. That's it. No meat, no bread, no eggs, no cereal, no fruit, and no vegetables. And even if I wanted to be unhealthy, there isn't even crisps, chocolate, ice cream, or biscuits. There is quite literally nothing else edible in the house. And our next big shop isn't until tomorrow. It's late. We live in a small village with no takeaways that deliver. The shop's closed, and I have no way to get to town. I have literally zero options. When I picked up the plate, she said, "You're welcome," waiting for me to say thanks. I always thank her for food she makes. When I didn't respond and went to leave the kitchen, she stood in the doorway and said, "Aren't you gonna say thank you?" I told her I wasn't thankful for a meal she knew I couldn't eat without being sick. So she called me ungrateful. AITA, for not performing gratitude in that moment. Edit for clarification, since some comments are assuming I'm being fussy or didn't want to communicate. I'm always grateful for my mother's cooking and thank her every other time she makes dinner. I'm not usually rude or disrespectful about it. This isn't I don't like curry. It's a physical reaction. I feel like I'm going to vomit if I eat it, and have on a few occasions. There's maybe 3 foods total that do this. Covey's one. I also don't have an issue with her making food I can't eat in general. The rest of my family likes curry, and that's completely fine. She should cook what everyone else wants to. When she makes one of those meals, I normally just say it makes me feel sick and won't eat it. No attitude, I don't kick off about it. On why didn't you ask in my house? Asking direct questions. What's for dinner? What kind of bread do you want in the shop? Even what movie to watch. Regularly gets an angry or snappy response from my mother. So it's not that I didn't think to ask. It's that asking doesn't go well. So I've learned not to for the most part, and to just make myself something instead when I need to. Also, I didn't feel the need to ask tonight specifically, because she'd already told me earlier. We were having chicken fried rice. She changed her mind and made curry. Instead, while I was out working, without telling me, if she'd let me know she'd changed the plan, I'd have gone to the shop while it was still open. Also, even when I tell her in advance I'll make my own food, she still makes me a portion of something. She knows I won't eat and gets annoyed when I don't eat it. A few people are suggesting I could have made pancakes, eggs, something with what was in the house. As I said, there were no eggs. So most of that wasn't actually possible with just flour, milk, sugar, spices, and sauces. On just eat the rice. The rice and curry are cooked in separate pots, but my mother mixes them together afterwards, so nobody's left with plain rice on its own. So there isn't any plain rice available, as she used it all. Though I'd have been completely happy with plain rice, and wouldn't have even posted here in the first place. There's about 8 portions of curry rice in the fridge or from tonight's dinner. And I did eat the naan bread that came with the meal. That's the only reason I took the plate in the first place. On what we had for breakfast, if there was nothing in the house, personally I only eat lunch and dinner. I don't do breakfast. I had lunch while I was out at college sorting out some things for my next year, and family were also out in a different town. So I'd assume they ate while out too. To be clear, I don't feel entitled to my mother only cooking things I like. Like I said, I'd have happily made my own thing if I'd known she was making curry instead of the chicken fried rice she'd originally said. And I'm aware I'm not going to starve over one meal. I never said or implied that I was. My issue was with the lack of options tonight and the reaction to me not being thankful for it, not survival. Comments. The comments here are quite odd to me. I can't really imagine a world where my mom would make the one thing she knew I can't: eat when there is no food in the house. Also, a person can dislike something and not eat it without having an allergy. A lot of the comments give I'm going to force my kid to eat everything I serve them. Yes, exactly. I grew up as a vegetarian, still am. And the amount of people of all ages who tried to shame both me and my parents for not forcing me to eat what I abhorred was wild. We know nothing else about the family dynamic or living situation, and yet the younger one is vilified in a lot of the comments. Yeah, the mom should have at least told off that she's cooking the food he doesn't like, serving it to him knowing he hates it, and expecting him to thank her feels like a punishment, to be honest. Agreed, we shouldn't vilify anyone. But I find the story so strange that 1, the mom would intentionally cook the one thing OP couldn't eat, and 2, there wasn't even a slice of bread in the kitchen for him to munch on. I smell fiction. NTA, you are not required to be grateful when someone makes something they know you do not like. You are not required to gag down food that literally makes you sick. Your mom needs a reality check here.